This won't take long, I promise. Just a quick introduction, a few samples of what I do best, and an invitation to chat more if you like what you see. Whether I'm on the set, in the field, online, or on mobile, I know people just want a smart story from someone they trust. My job is to serve it up in a way that's either educational or entertaining, hopefully both. Here's a bit of my favorite work. I want you to turn around.
That's what he... Sorry. Football.
We're going to take you back briefly to our top story. Incredible video of yesterday's weather across the plains. It doesn't even look real. It looks like special effects. We hope that the interviews and the information we're able to impart in the next half hour will help all of us understand that a little bit better. First, the flows, and you can take a look behind me and see just how much water is flowing out of there. 5 gates are open. Good news for air passengers. Help is coming, and the craziness at airports could at least get a little less crazy soon. 5 days until we go to the polls in California, and the final 3 presidential candidates still standing are racing up and down California, stumping for votes.
There is a method to making madness. Let's try that again. There's a method to the madness for making money.
Oh, I liked it the first way. Yeah. Okay, it comes down to changing habits and having a new mindset. It's 1988, and a young woman from Seattle is on her way to Tahoe with a friend.
It was a gorgeous March day. We were driving up the pass, the Redding Pass, and just admiring how beautiful it was.
Behind them, a sports car carrying 2 men closes in and swerves past them.
As they passed us, we looked over to see them, and were absolutely in shock at how completely intoxicated they were.
The sports car disappears behind a curve, and as the women make their way around that same curve,
we saw the accident, and it was absolutely the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Russell was a young UC Davis graduate living in London, hoping to become a writer.
A friend of a friend came by, knew I'd taken some pictures, I had a couple pictures, I never took a photography course, and said, would I like to photograph his next interview? And I said, sure, who is it? He said, Mick Jagger. And I thought, well, that was, now I'm going to go home and tell my friends, right? And the same guy calls me back 2 months later and says, you want to photograph my next interview? And I said, who is it? And he said, John Lennon. And that's how I got started.
I recently had the opportunity to meet Dan and little Merle. Merle's egg was the only one left untouched by predators, and with no goose parents around, Dan stepped in to help. Little Merle's entrance into the world was a case of good luck and being in the right place.
I don't know if he's preening me or he thinks my hair is grass. I'm not quite sure.
Meet Cristina Mendonsa, News 10 anchor, News 10 journalist, pretty much the face of News 10. But this News 10 face has skills, mad skills. Give her a mic and a notepad and you've got an in-depth, comprehensive story at 11. Need proof? She's been everywhere. China, Israel. She's interviewed presidents and prime ministers, for Pete's sake. But doing local stories right here in our community is what keeps her going. Why? Because she's a local girl, born and raised right here. Can't get much more connected to a community than that, baby. News 10 and Cristina Mendonsa, connecting with our community.
Hey, Periscopers, ready to join me in studio? Come on. We got news to do. We have a special live webcast from 9:30 until 11, so we hope you join us there. You can hop on our Facebook pages, my Facebook page or Dale's Facebook page, and we'll be communicating with you throughout that webcast. We're late getting set up because the security sweep was a little bit late. I took some Periscope video and shared that with some of our viewers this morning. And heading now to celebrate some heroes. We're going to be doing the Salvation Army luncheon today, Dale and I. We're supposed to meet there in about 15 minutes, and I'll probably be there in 20. Seems like I'm 5 minutes late for everything, except my deadlines. I always make my journalistic deadlines. Stuck in hot cars are rescued by emergency responders all the time in California. A new bill aims to protect Good Samaritans. Everyone in this business treasures credibility, and you get that by being good at what you do. What comes next, though, is trust. A medical examiner in Minnesota today said that Prince died of an accidental... The biggest compliment is for someone to see a story you've done or watch you host something and say, I trust that person. This spring, that social media movement took the women face to face with Bear in Germany.
It's been a great ride so far. Challenging assignments, interesting people, and the satisfaction of telling some important stories.
That's right.
This is why we do what we do, right? It's the variety and the autonomy and the chance to take people, sometimes drag people to the front row of history and say, look at this, or listen to this. So much is changing, but whether you call it content or news, whether it's online or on TV, it's still just storytelling. And it's still the way those of us in this business want to spend our days. We are all suckers for a good story. And thankfully, that means the world will still need storytellers.